Most of y'all know I think these polls are complete horseshit. I think that there is a massive silent majority out there that is going to be voting by Trump, and most likely a lot of Republicans are going to be seeing a unexpected wave of support out there based on, well, the fact that it's the easiest way to get your ass kicked is to wear a fucking red trucker hat nowadays. Doesn't matter what color your skin is, doesn't matter what you say or really what your actions are nowadays. If you get even perceived as being on the wrong side of history, as the leftists love to proclaim, you get your ass kicked, or in the case of Jay Danielson, Lee Keltner, you get killed. We got a few examples here, and I also came across this poll here saying many Trump supporters feel the need to hide their support for the president. I wonder why. There's a lot of good, hardworking people out there that maybe they just want lower taxes. Maybe they just want law and order. And you know what? The fact that the act of having a sign supporting your duly elected president is apparently grounds for having your fucking place destroyed is a little bit unsettling. Therefore, I've heard that there's been quite a few stories of people seeing a bunch of Trump signs out there and next to no Biden signs. What I think you can use the polls for, you can look at them to see which direction they're going. I think their baseline level is really the fuck off, but if somebody's drastically going in one direction for a sustained amount of time, you can fairly well have a decent sense that what's happening is fairly logical in the polls. Unless there is some big controversy around that person that is violence-based, or to the contrary of that, if it's scandal-based, then you'd have to be able to kind of go case by case. But for the most part, I think I explained fairly well in my 2016 to 2020 and 2012 to 2020 videos that these polls are complete fucking bunk right now. But let's see why people need to hide their support for the president. A new poll in battleground state of New Hampshire indicates that voters who back President Trump are far less likely to express their support publicly than those who back presidential candidate Joe Biden. More than 60% of Trump supporters questioned in a University of New Hampshire Survey Center poll says they won't put a Trump yard sign outside their home or a bumper sticker on their car because of fears of vandalism or assault or death. That number drops by approximately half of Biden supporters wary of placing yard signs on their lawns or bumper stickers or on their vehicles, because that goes to a bigger thing. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The fact that if you stand up and you say, "Hey, I'm a Biden supporter," nobody on the right realistically is going to give you any shit. These fucking outrage mobs that I hear of, X and Y celebrity have stood up and they're facing so much hate from this nefarious right wing. I'll need the receipts on that because, all of Hollywood, if you guys enjoy any current movies, any past movies, if you view everything through the lens of politics, you're going to find yourself a very bored individual. It doesn't really matter to the right. But, of course, if you look at that on the flip side, you'll get called everything from a bot to, I don't know, just have your fucking shit destroyed. Because, you know what? I think these people in New Hampshire are definitely onto something, because it goes back, you guys remember 2016. Streak of vandalized Trump signs, unprecedented, local party leader says. And this was, about the same time in 2016 where, this is Baltimore after all, a deeply blue city in a deeply blue state, but that's just one of the many instances that were out there. There was also the guy who had to put razor wire around his Trump sign because it kept getting stolen. And then there was another guy, I couldn't find it, but he electrified, put a little bit of voltage, or rather amperage, through the frame of the sign. Not enough to do any harm, just enough to shock you like one of those goofy gimmicky pens. And then, of course, because Donald Trump's not a career politician, I know, right? You guys turned into this channel for all the late-breaking facts, right? I'm sure the Hollywood Walk of Fame Association has somebody on staff to consistently replace the president's star on the Walk of Fame, but it's been going on forever. Like, they got down here the different instances of vandalization. So it has been defaced many times since he entered office, while supporters frequently attempt to clean it off and scrub the defacements. There was a separate pickaxe incident in 2018. I seem to remember some mentally disturbed man with a pickaxe down there hammering away at it. A sledgehammer destroyed it in 2016. That was not that long long after the election, I think. I'm pretty sure. And it was covered in Black Lives Matter material related slogans in June of 2020. Because, of course, these fucking activists out there, instead of, taking the time to look at the policies of the man who's actually helped out the black community more than, I'm not going to recite his little line there because it makes me cringe, but somebody who's significantly helped the black community. But no, we'll just continue to break anything that has Trump on there because more racism. And if you're being a Trump supporter, okay, we all know that the right owns memes online, right? But in order to advertise for the president, you have to get super fucking creative considering, well, all of Hollywood isn't going to stand up for you, but you know what? We can at least mock them, right? This popped up in California, right on the fucking 405 freeway it was there for a whole day. I'm surprised it lasted that long, but the Trump sign was taken down near the 405 freeway in Sepulveda Pass. I'm not from Los Angeles. I know, right? So hopefully I'm pronouncing that somewhat correct. A large Trump sign erected overnight on the hillside near the 405 freeway in Sepulveda Pass was taken down by authorities Tuesday. You know why? Because it was apparently too much of a distraction to drivers was their justification for having to take it down. It's not the fact that Eric Garcetti is turning off people's water if they don't adhere to his fucking social distancing plans for your house. No, but this was a great joke. It was a great joke, and really, what's the fucking harm in it? It's not too close to the freeway to be a distraction. It's just something you don't ever expect to see in the Los Angeles area. I made the prediction before. I don't think that California is going to flip because of the multitude of reasons I've laid out before. Too many people in Los Angeles and San Francisco to overcome. Even though upstate is very, very Republican, but we're going to see some very tight races and some very tight results here on the 3rd regardless. But this whole prosecuting one side of society really kind of had its first canary in the coal mine back when Rayshard Brooks got shot. You guys remember that? The drunken asshole who stole a cop's taser, fell asleep in a Wendy's drive-thru, and was shot and killed for his troubles, and then led to fucking nights on nights of rioting in Atlanta. Well, I've made reference to it, I think, before, but case in point, stepmom of ex-Atlanta cop Garrett Rolfe, the man who shot and killed Rayshard Brooks, that fucking criminal scumbag, was stunned by firing after Rayshard Brooks shooting. Melissarolfe says in a Fox News interview her termination was a political move. It absolutely was. Melissarolfe says she was fired for her job in a political move because her stepson is ex-Atlanta police officer Garrett Rolfe. In an interview Tuesday with Fox News, Melissarolfe spoke in detail about what happened after Garrett Rolfe was criminally charged for the fatal shooting of Rayshard Brooks on June 12th. Which fueled protests against police brutality that already were erupting over the death of George Floyd. Apart from the ongoing criminal case, Melissarolfe lost her job on June 18th as the Human Resource Director of Equity Prime Mortgage. What? That is not even remotely a political job. That has nothing to do with it. And that was a clear case of self-defense, that case. If you guys remember, Rayshard Brooks talked with the police officers for like 20 fucking minutes, and then as soon as they said, okay, yeah, you're coming with us, they fucking had a struggle with the big dude, and he stole one of their tasers, fired it directly at one of the cops, and it was, I forget the exact time, but it was dark out, and yeah, you fire back something that looks like a gun, guess what, you're gonna be getting one in the fucking fat part of your head, pal. Well, the company said this was due to creating a hostile work environment. Can you fucking believe that? Melissarolfe maintained she was fired because of her relationship to her stepson. Could you imagine working with people so triggered? Well, actually, I can. That get so triggered from something that your stepson does, acts in self-defense, that you have to get fired from your job because you're creating a toxic work environment by just being who you are. And more of that shit is coming from all the censorship that's happening with big tech. The fact that you have to hide. If you're a conservative, you have to hide. Otherwise, you face repercussions, the likes of which you'll never see. Can't go one day without quoting Trump. I know it's impossible at this point. But I don't know. I haven't seen any follow-up on this. Hopefully she found another job. She seems like a really smart woman, so hopefully she does too. And I don't know what happened with Garrett Rolfe. I don't know if he was rehired, but the police officer, the police chief in Atlanta stepped down after all the rioting and none of the support from the fucking worthless mayor, Keisha Bottoms, I believe her name is, right? But I guess you can be considered lucky if you just lost your job because you just got to go over to the wonderful, wonderful city of San Francisco. Conservative staging free speech rally attacked by critics. No, Antifa. Antifa attacked these people. A free speech demonstration staged by conservative activists quickly fell apart in downtown San Francisco on Saturday after several hundred counter-protesters surged the area, outnumbering and attacking those gathered, including knocking one in the mouth. Fucking shame on the AP in this one. I know, right? Tough talk. They say in the headline, conservatives staging free speech rally attacked by critics. Several hundred counter-protesters. Critics, counter-protesters. Fucking disgusting. And this article is just the setup, because it also said here, including one that was knocked in the mouth. That's a little bit light for what actually happened. Cry about it. Antifa demonstrators, rioters, punched pro-Trump protesters' teeth out and pelted him with rocks. Yeah, critics and counter-protesters knocked a man in the mouth. Well, at least the sun has blurred this out because, yeah, he had his front two teeth knocked out, left with a bloody mouth. And as you can see, this white supremacist individual right here. It's a fucking joke, you assholes. A group of counter-protesters were filmed punching and hurling debris at Philip Anderson, one of the organizers of the free speech rally in California. Anderson was attacked by members of Antifa, the idea that Joe Biden thinks that they are. He was punched in the mouth at least twice by a counter-protester at the rally he organized. The Team Save America organizer had to be hospitalized with his injuries after getting a city permit for the event, which was canceled minutes after it started. Attendees wore red Make America Great Again campaign hats for Trump, carried pro-police thin blue line flags and U.S. flags as Lee Greenwald's song Proud to be an American blared. As you can see, that's the aftermath after he cleaned himself off. So at least a fundraiser got set up and dude's going to get his teeth paid for. But for fuck's sakes already. All he was doing was going out there and expressing his free speech. I put that in fucking quotation marks at this point because there is nothing free about this speech anymore, because one side is actively fighting for it and getting punished for it, and the other side is just all about expanding censorship. So it's a scary future. And I understand people don't want to stand up because they don't want to have their fucking teeth knocked out. They don't want to lose their job. You have to go to creative ways in order to show your support for the president. The right needs the left in order for progress to be properly made. But when the right's doing all that they can to hold on to, well, the rights of the people, and the left is becoming more and more radicalized, I'll leave it up to Tim Pool to chant the magic words, because I don't think we're quite there yet. But this shit continues to escalate, and you bet your ass it's going to. Might have to sound the alarm. Anyways, guys, if you are a right-leaning individual out there like myself, keep yourself safe. Don't let the bullshit overwhelm you, and stand up for what you think is right and defend yourself. And if you're somebody on the left out there and you happen to come across these videos, I'd definitely appreciate hearing your opinion on the situation. Like, do you think that the left has gone too far? I clearly think that they have, but I want to hear a nice principled argument from the left, because I think that we have a lot in common. I think that if we hold the Constitution to be true, if we hold the core tenets of the original liberalism doctrine as our core values, then we can definitely reform society from whatever the fuck it's devolved into. So once again, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.